Yeah, man.
To make noise,
Yeah,
to make noise,
Ah,
to make noise, to make noise.
the people on tire, the people on fed up. For people they suffer, the country don't ganga. No future for the youth. So tramadol and push. Pa, they treat we like we not sober. Guys don't be here, but mine don't be here. Your boss don't be here. Petrol don't turn boy picking.
To make noise,
Free town,
to make noise,
Boko no kene makailang.
to make noise,
Makeni pot block kabia.
to make noise.
Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When we soldier them left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When we use my them left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Yeah. Pa. They treat we like we not sober. Guess don't be here, but mine don't be here. Your boss don't be here. Petrol don't turn boy picking.
To make noise,
Free town,
to make noise,
Boko no kene makailang.
to make noise,
Makeni pot block kabia.
to make noise.
Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When we soldier them left, right, left, right, left, right, left. When we use my them left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Power to the people. Why we economy not stable? We not able put food on the table. We don't tire with them parable. Pa, they treat we like we not sober. Guess don't be here, but mine don't be here. Your boss don't be here. Petrol don't turn boy picking.
To make noise,
Free town,
to make noise,
Boko no kene makailang.
to make noise,
Makeni pot block kabia.
to make noise.
Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. Freedom is coming.
Greetings to all my comrades them of the APC. This na the APC online TV platform na the diaspora, the mouthpiece of the diaspora, and me na comrade Awan Kasu. Today na Sunday, the 17th of September 2023. Today we get a new segment where we introduce to the viewers them we na the news bulletin we will bring come to now every Sunday before the start of the show and probably towards the end of the show. We will go now a news bulletin. So as of now, we will start with the news bulletin, and now we get all the news that will happen, the things that will happen during the week. We will summarize them for now in a few minutes inside the next segment. So if I can ask the technical team for come up with the news for us, please.
Family una kushe and kabo. We bring to una summary of the weekly news where they come out from the APC Diaspora TV platform. And this particular show, they come up every Sunday from the APC Diaspora TV platform. Now, the first news. Magistrate Bremaja don't send 6 protesters them for September 11, 2023 inside McKinney Correctional Center. The 6 accused people be appear before the magistrates of Bombali District Magistrate Court that's inside McKinney City. The police charged the accused people with a 3-count charge of unlawful assembly, unlawful possession, and disorderly behavior contrary to the laws of Sierra Leone. According to the police, the alleged say on Monday, 11 September 2023, they be see 6 people in different locations in McKinney City and engage illegal protest. The police prosecutors then say they arrest the accused people separately around NP area, Rogbane Road, other places them inside McKinney City. Among the 6 accused people, 3 women be beg inside the courtroom the people. The 3 men they not be beg. And the 6 people also, the 3 men the 3 women they all not be guilty. But now the 3 women they not be beg. But the magistrates not be grant them bail and send them all 6 to jail and adjourn the matter on the 18th September, that this coming Monday 2023 for the woman them. For the man them, in adjourn the human matter on the 20th September 2023. And the all 6, he don't send them na remand the people them. The second news. 46 people, including 7 women, be appear na court for the protest na Waterloo. On the 13th September 2023, a total of 46 people, including 7 women and 39 men from various address them inside Waterloo, be appeared na Waterloo Magistrate Court, na Kinyard inside Waterloo. Salon Police they may arrest them people there so on the 11th September, that this past Monday, in connection with the involvements na the recent protest around Waterloo community. According to the charges we come out from the Sierra Leone police against the people na offense under the Public Order Acts of 1965, including incitements, riotous conduct, disorderly behavior, throwing missiles, public insults, and provocation. That according to the charges where the police they say na Indian people also gets. Police say they be arrest Boku with exhibits for this particular demonstration will be take place this past Monday, 11 September 2023. They say they be arrest them with stones, old motorcar tires, and placards. Only 46 people where they be arrested, they be identify them as protesters. That's according to the police. And the magistrates don't send them all na Banga Farm Kisitong Correctional Center outside Waterloo community. The matter, the magistrate adjourn them on the 18th September 2023. That's this coming Monday. Third news. Turkish government don't arrest some Sierra Leoneans them na Turkey Istanbul airport with 600 kilograms of kush, jamba, and cocaine drug. Out of the 600 kilogram, now 460 kilogram of kush, 100 kilogram of cocaine, 6 kilogram of jamba, and 5 kilogram of tramadol. The governor of the Istanbul airport, winner Dr. Hagan, and the chief security officer, all na the Istanbul airport be make this known to the Sierra Leone ambassador na Turkey, winner Ambassador Muhammad Hassan Kaisamba. For go know the series of allegations wey they don make about brothers dem wey dey comot from Sierra Leone dey go inside Turkey. And according to the governor of Istanbul airport, he say from 2021 to 2023, na this quantum of drugs they don catch na the Istanbul airport na Turkey from Sierra Leoneans dem. The governor continue and say the Turkish government don open an investigation on dem Sierra Leoneans dey also wey dey arrest with this drug. And say the Turkish law go take im course on dem Salone people also wey dem no arrest. The governor further call on the security dem na Lunge International Airport for make dem tighten the security na this airport for let dem not give the country bad name internationally. Fourth news: Sierra Leone police don send the AIG of Port Harcourt Division on indefinite leave, wey na AIG Francis Tawa, for wey e be allow people dem for demonstrate or people dem for protest inside Port Harcourt city on September 11th this year. Na im make Salone police be send this particular AIG with indefinite leave with immediate effects. They say because e allow people dem for demonstrate inside Port Harcourt. Famulem, the next news wey we get for give una next week Sunday concerning about the protesters dem wey get for appear this coming Monday and Wednesday. We get for tell una about the proceedings of that court update day, and also we get for tell una about wetin dey happen inside the APC concerning the dialogue wey get for start the 25 and the 26th this month. And also we get for tell una about the court case of Comrade APC Sheriff and others versus the Inspector General of Police, Famulem. Thank you for tuning in. Join us next week as we bring you credible updates on events happening inside the APC and the country as a whole. Me, na political thinker, head of JUDK Media and Communications Units, credited by Council of APC Media Bloggers, both home and diaspora. Brought to you by APC Diaspora TV platform. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, political thinker, and thank you very much to the production team, the background, the technical team. Well, like this, we get for now in terms of we news bulletin them, where they come to now every Sunday from the APC online TV platform. Once again, today, the 17th of September 2023, and Mina Comrade Owen Kasu. I get me co-host. We go for join me later on when I sweet Bonita. But we get with topic we'll go for can discuss today as we all don't see the news bulletin. We get with topic we'll go for can discuss today, and the topic therefore do with September 11. A sad day for Sierra Leone, another historical day for Sierra Leone, a black day for Sierra Leone. And there's a lot of description about that day, about Sierra Leone. We will go can discuss today as we topic. I just want to give you a quick one for say we guest we'll get today. I guess everybody know. We will use this platform a few times. Everybody appreciating submissions them, and he didn't also today discuss this particular topic with we. And he's not the person, but the former presidential spokesman, Mr. Abdoulaye Berete. Mr. Abdoulaye Berete don't serve under President Nkrumah. in tenure as the presidential spokesman, and currently they live in Canada, and we see the event of September 11, and they can discuss within na how that affects we as a nation, and so make I introduce Mr. Blaberete, like come live. Let's say hello to viewers them. Over to you, Mr. Abdullah Berite, if you can come live, please.
Thank you very much, Comrade Owen Kasu, and Fambul and where they listen both at home in Sierra Leone and across the world. I bring una greetings from Toronto.
Thank you very much. Now we get to the co-hosts. We don't come in, Sweet Bonita. Please, Sweet Bonita, come live and say hi to comrades.
Good evening, Comrade. My name is Sweet Bonita. I'm going to be the co-host for this program this evening. Hope to.
All right, fantastic, Sweet Bonita. So let's go straight into the topic. Welcome to all the viewers then. And as soon as don't join me now, we'll help you for share the link so everybody go able to view this program here so tonight or this afternoon from the United States and Canada. And the topic now September 11. The day, another day we Sierra Leone not going to be proud of at all. But Mr. Berity, waiting are your first reaction to this September 11? Because now a planned demonstration, not so. What's your first reaction to that?
My first reaction now for condemn in no uncertain terms the high-handedness of the security forces, and also for condemn with no apology the government and particularly Mada Bio, because as somebody waiting at the helm of affairs in our country right now, they can say the buck stays with him. He gets a responsibility for make sure say he protects citizens them across the board, not to just people and where they come for praise and he open the space for them. Then people them we get critical voices them, then they suppress them, then they use the obnoxious 1965 Public Order Act for go against them people and they arrest them, then they use that same law day where them they don't cherry pick for prosecute people them, send people in a jail, send people them on remand. And also, why for always kill people them where they no say things they had now in country, instead of addressing their issues then they, instead of using a constructive engagement for say yes, top up don't dear for electricity, top up now the phone then don't dear students and they find it difficult for study, the internet in cost don't become prohibitive, the fuel then just they increase and per win at the country, and they know they even talk to the people them. Things they don't had na the country, rest on now almost 1 million leons rest defense so. The cost of living don't become very prohibitive except for the privileged few. Unless and until we acknowledge, say, these things are real, people and they suffer, then you try for address the root causes them. This thing about responding with force, using the taxpayers' the money where we they use to maintain the security forces them, with all the rhetoric and threats and way they give people in the country, that one they know they solve the issue. Una go kill. Una don't kill August 10, 2022. People are not afraid, they still come out for come assert their rights and express their dissatisfaction. So this so don't tell the government say any form of violence no go make them afraid for come and express the way they feel about the government. And when they come for express that, the next thing now for arrest them, send tear gas on them, kill them, then send them on remand, then begin the wasting time for Guna courts. Don't get me wrong. Some of us, we believe, say, violence is not the way in our country. We condemn violence in no uncertain times. But I always recall a situation whereby the protesters them, they hold them placard, where them go, the security forces them, some of them will know the rules of engagement, we respect human rights. We see how they connect with the protesters them, no incidents no happen. Then the unfortunate part, the only AIG na puts local, we end up calm. It connects to the young people them. No violence not happen there. At the end of the day, instead of them commend them for that singular action, where it do, the next thing, then use another arbitrary power of indefinite suspension. So this don't tell me say, whilst we they condemn the high-handedness of the security forces them, the government not serious in any way for address the concerns of Singaporeans them. And we not for tire at all, for continue, for go after this government, make them do the needful, because not to a privilege, then they give Sierra Leoneans them for respect their human rights. The reason being, these rights are enshrined in our constitution. In fact, they are entrenched clauses in chapter 3 of Cap 6 of 1991 Constitution, we make a very clear say the right to peaceful assembly is a fundamental human right. And
All
that
right.
right cannot be denied to Sierra Leoneans them under the guise of an obnoxious 1965 Public Order Act.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Berete. Now, the reason this will make we like forget you now inside this platform because you're so constructive and you did take the topic head on. And I want to tell you thank you for that. I'll take note of two things then. In your submission, you refer to this regime as the government. Then one. Secondly, we don't get protests them before. The protests they will don't get before. We don't see them people they also don't kill. They shoot and kill unarmed citizens. And this September 11 protests, waiting we achieve or waiting the people of Sierra Leone achieve from this September protest. These are the two things that I take note of from your submission.
The first one, yes, it was very deliberate to refer to the state security as operating under the government. The reason being, the police force, the military, they were all established under the 1991 Constitution. And the 1991 Constitution is supposed to be implemented by a government. Now, it makes the vice president of a country, as per the provisions in the 1991 Constitution, now in are the chairman of the police council. So therefore, we get every right for let we blame the government, because at the end of the day, they get a right to protect every citizen of this country. Now, who country is Sierra Leone? Then what did we achieve? You know, I only wish the players them now country where they parade under the guise of running a state, they're able to understand, say, when people are frustrated, when you push people into the wall, then they bounce back, and any form of intimidation, no, they prevent them for come publicly and express the way they feel about the country and the way that they run the country. At the end of the day, it is very insulting. I don't tell them at one time, me and the former Minister of Information, Wena Rado Soare, we meet up na AYV. They say we been raised fuel in price. Now I tell us, say, you know, waiting at the difference between we your ace price from 3,500 to 6,000 leones. I say we give Sierra Leoneans them the respect. We acknowledge, say things are hard. We go right around the country. President Kuruma dispatched me. I go all around the country. In fact, when I reach Kailaung, now Kailaung got Barre, all the chiefs then your submission and reaction to that meeting was, for the first time, we want for increase the price of an essential commodity. We go meet them, we give them the respect, we explain to them the ramifications, and we create a safe space for them for let them ask questions. The opposite with their wire, then an arrogance, then they exhibit, then they take the people and for granted. They're not seeing nothing. Instead, when people then demonstrate, instead of they accept say things they hard for we, then they fail what you call external blame, now then they do. Then go either call the APC saying a terrorist them, as it happened in August 10, 2022. Then go either make say, oh, we are insurrectionist them. Then the most disheartening thing, then go form a phony committee. They say then they investigate, but people and we already don't come and run a narrative about the events. Now then they constitute. That way then go sing from the same hymn where the president they sing. That is wrong. And those are the people then where they even contribute for subvert and circumvent to country and create chaos. But one thing what we achieve is this. The Freetown people and where they say that they run a government and for no say, Al-Bashir and Sudan, they get one of the strongest military in Africa. It gets jets then. It gets military tanks. But what happen? The people then defy. Now small young girl na Ingo Pantap one day, a vehicle, it said down with Al-Bashir. Today, Al-Bashir day in a prison. But for me, the most disheartening thing where they happen in our country, now the culture of impunity. They don't sack Lahai Lawrence Lima. They don't sack the former IJ Suvula. Does that mean they for go scot-free? They should be held accountable under international human rights law. Because at the end of the day, we know say the buck stays with the government, but again, in international law, you can able all individuals them responsible for atrocities that we committed against innocent civilians. Now that make up to this point today, the genocide we happened in Rwanda in 1994, there's still the old individuals them for let them be accountable. So to me, that is very important. And the lesson them, the achievements them way are the seen that the Sierra Leoneans are resilient. I remember why I want to go for the elections. People then say, oh, Berete, you're not afraid, you don't go on TV, you don't cause, you don't blast or whatever. I say, you know what? I no need for afraid. I need for go. Before I become any citizen of the diaspora, I'm a Sierra Leonean first. And waiting they happen in Sierra Leone, it affects me in a different way because the young people them, then they brave the temple run them, who they see them, they die in the Mediterranean, they don't resort to Kushnau country. Nobody wants that. We care about Sierra Leone. And therefore, we have a moral and political responsibility for continue for call out this government and hold them to accountable because the things that we do now in the country is wrong and we should condemn that in no uncertain terms.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Berete. I want to come with co-host with Sweet Bonita. I get a few questions then for ask you. Please, Sweet Bonita, go ahead.
Well, again, before I just ask this question, let me just try to acknowledge some of our regular viewers. Good evening, Delvin Tamos, all the way from Northern Ireland. He's with us. Mo Bangura, watching from Reading and Oxford, Berkshire. Hassan Chalo, good evening to you. Hassan is watching from Bristol. We have Valdecay. It says, good evening all. We have David Vandy. And again, Usman Conte watching from East Dulwich in London. We have Fatia Esther Samora. Good evening. And you know, one of the things before I ask my question here, Comrade Wankasi, and also Mr. Berete, and it has been that the diaspora also will be taken such an act to protest in the diaspora? Because as you last mentioned in your last statement, saying there is one way or the other is affecting you. What do you think the impact will be of the diaspora protests on this issue regarding Sierra Leone? Because again, you said what before you become any other citizens, you were first a Sierra Leonean. Because some of us that go to Sierra Leone, people ask, "Oh, are you not scared? Why do you still come?" So let me know what will be the outcome for the diaspora protesting, where it will lead them to, please.
To me, all Sierra Leoneans and friends of Sierra Leone within the diaspora, where they protest for let things and be okay in our country, I think say I salute them. I salute them for various reasons. Within Naya, would they get 24-hour electricity? Will they get 24-hour water? At least we not say yes, violence day, but at least when something happen, you can able to call 999 or 911 immediately, somebody can show up to come to support you. We don't have that in our country. The other thing in this part of the world, we can able go, we can go na Trafalgar Square, we go demonstrate there, we do all kinds statements them, you no get for turn on your shoulder. You can go na Lafayette Park, you can go na Malcolm X Park na Philadelphia, nobody no go turn against you. Now that make, if we care about country, we don't see Sierra Leoneans them, then don't go na The Hague. Sierra Leoneans them don't go to Netherlands. Sierra Leoneans and they plan a demonstration at Brussels. Then don't demonstrate in New York. Then get another demonstration where they come up on the 20th. Na New York, where mother be na the US. Now Canada, we get we own demonstration to the Prime Minister on the 25th of this month. Not to idle or idle. We just want for make sure say while Sudan are we comfort zone here relatively, we also care about we young people in back home. And then protest there. Even though we have embassies in Sierra Leone, we get diplomatic relations with the world, the rest of the world. Then they know say, or then they send what you call situation reports. But coming out in we hundreds or thousands with placards expressing that genuine concern about country, then go say, you know what? I think it is time for us to pay attention to Sierra Leone because the least they want now for let Sierra Leone collapse, then they begin get an influx of refugees them like it happened before, and we don't want that. Now that make we think say we have a right. They say put your mouth usa you couple day. Oh day na yasu. Would they transmit money them for help family, friends? Would they help other people them? If things them better for we na Sierra Leone, the pressure will reduce per we. And therefore, it makes sense for them we make sure say, in spite of a physical absence in Sierra Leone, we get the moral right, we have the political right for let we hold any government where they are under accountable. And that is just what we are doing. And therefore, it makes sense for let we come out and drum with voices them to the rest of the world that we now know waiting. We don't try. Anytime more people and they demonstrate, anytime more go, they either go shoot tear gas per we, then kill people them, they arrest people them. Nobody no day for hold them accountable. And because of that, we they cry so that the Rome Statute will establish the International Criminal Court who get potential candidates in Sierra Leone. We don't commit the atrocities there. They should be held accountable. I think say that uniform cry what they cry. It make a whole lot of difference, and it should say yes. In the diaspora, we are concerned about human rights, good governance, and democracy back home.
Right, thank you very much. Sid Bonita, you get another question for Mr. Verite?
Yeah, well, I think I just wanted to also acknowledge his concern of saying when diasporas protest, it shows a good dividend because we saw what happened. The Americans did that. Now there is a travel ban on most of the officials in Sierra Leone, and the UK also did their own protests, which September, they've returned back to Parliament. So definitely we'll hear from the UK government. But as you mentioned, America are having a protest on the 20th. The UK also is doing the same protest because, again, we want to do it simultaneously now that people knows everybody in Sierra Leone are suffering and are coming through the same issue. Because we've only got one Sierra Leone. Tribal and political intimidation do not have any parts to play in that country. So definitely we'll work together as a unit. But I also want to say, like, for example, you mentioned about if you are not, for example, being known to the SLPP, whatever you do becomes an issue. Because when you mention about the IG in Loco, and which I think that is the rule of engagement when it comes to protest, they are supposed to protect the people, give them drinks, give them food, because they are there. If they were happy, nobody will come out. And I've seen also the protests in Sierra Leone. Either they come out, they don't come out, they will still be arrested. Because there was a sit-at-home protest where people don't go out. People were still arrested. Like, why did you not go out? You should have come out. So it has come to a norm that they just pick on certain people and says, oh, you don't like us, so you are not supporting us, so then we need to arrest you. Because this happened in your area, then you are responsible for it. Because the September 11, we all knew. They've planned everything. People were not going, they just came out outside their communities to show their dissatisfaction. They did not go anywhere to interrupt or to disrupt anything. But yet still, we had the news bulletin saying people were arrested. For what crime? Because they came out. Some of them were not even there because one of it says they were not even guilty. But yet, they will be arrested because they don't see eye to eye with SLPP. So we are also requesting and asking the international community to stop this madness in our country because it's not. And if the uprising is to erupt in our country, it will be a different ball game. That's the sad part of it, and that's where I think Sierra Leoneans are heading right now because people they don't have freedom of information or expression or even association, which nobody can live in such a life. So I think Comrade Wanka, so that's what I want to add so far to this
Okay.
particular.
Mr. Berity, the protest that we did talk about now, so we within at the diaspora not expect any policeman for can shoot we. Sadly enough, we see a video where they make rounds on social media where a policeman they tell one of the citizens who they exercise in rights to protest for waiting the happen in the country that we the citizen come on a jail and they make sure say he hunts that citizen the back and make sure say he put them down again. That's a very sad situation where we get at the country. And they hope for go protests peacefully, just like how the people in our Putloko, as you mentioned, protest peacefully, nobody no die. Because the AIG where they did was responsible enough for allow the people for express them constitutional rights for protest. And what he gets for that, not a promotion, but a sack. But the one the way kill, we shoot and kill before, we don't see when they don't promote them. And then they continue for hail them up to this day where they shoot and kill innocent people. And you also rightly mentioned that they not even take them to account for the actions then. For the actions so that we don't take, you mentioned Lima, you talk about Sovula, and then they go with impunity with them grievous actions they don't take. There's another video we will show the viewers for make themselves see with their eyes, where the policeman or whoever it is, they tell the boy or something like that, say, Ingo make sure say you hunt and we come on a prison. And then we will take the discussion further from there. Over to you, sir.
I don't declare now jihad war between me and you. I'll be come out jail back and kill you. As come out jail and kill you. I don't know.
Hey, I'm setting a note.
Do the talk. You didn't misbehave.
As you can see this video, first of all, very sad, and one thing we'll forget in mind now that the last protest, people that were arrested, then sentence them and then serve them term, and some of them only recently, now them begin to release them only recently. And I want to take notes that there's a lawyer called BRUTALIty. I think that your relative, something like that.
Yeah, my cousin Musa BRUTALIty, yes.
Musa BRUTALIty, maybe they play an active role in defending those people, now the magistrate court, because me certainly they visit the magistrate court na Pademba Road, and BRUTALIty was the one where I could always the mixed day where they represent them people in the magistrate court. Them people in there were sentenced. Some of them get 14 months, some of them get 18 months, some of them get 12 months, and then served in term full after the time when they don't spend them, when they don't spend the time when they arrest them. And some of them just only recently been released after they don't serve their time. So what thing that you note on this particular video where you see, so what's your reaction to that?
That policeman supposed to be in a jail. He has no reason for wear a uniform will represent the Sierra Leone police. He no get reason for all gun because he was very clear. He say you I don't mark your face. Even when you come on a jail, I make sure I kill you. He has no reason if not a serious country. And this is where I'm going to call out the Inspector General of Police, Faya Selu, with no apology. That if you should say the motto of the police force, a force for good, this is a test case for you. You know the officers and waiting that truck, the SLP 372, on that very day, when on September 11, 2023, you for able go and find out who another officer they if they behind bars and he should be charged for threatening. Imagine if na be civilian threaten police, una for don't go begin quote all kind of obnoxious law for say, oh, a threatening officer say go kill him, the next thing una they charge him. But this time, from the very poor people and the taxpayers' money, now they maintain the police force. And one of them, because they get the privilege for all a gun, it threaten a poor civilian, say, will kill him. Do we deserve that as a country? You don't see how the young people, they resign themselves to faith. They say, have faith in God. That's a very emotional song. It is a way for let una reflect if una get conscience. They are harmless. They are defenseless. Una say they're old stone, they're old placard. And no one day see they arrest somebody for holding a placard in the express. During we own time, una current anti-corruption boss Kefala Ben Kefala the current Minister of Information and Civic Education, Chernobyl, and others. Now they constitute what they call the Renaissance movement. Then they go, then they demonstrate, then they wear black. Would they go, would they meet with them, we talk to them. Would they come at the UN for the UN General Assembly, then they demonstrate, then they cost Dr. Anes Kuruma Imama, would they still go meet them, we talk to them. So anybody will get a dissenting view, now for kill them and threaten them, arrest them, then young people and they are just hustlers. So which means if they not get somebody where they go meet the bail, the next thing they go put them before magistrate. The next thing nobody know they show up for them. The next thing they not go to jail. Why people they not go read the Truth and Reconciliation Commission reports? We say part of the reason where we get a conflict very protracted and vicious in our country, now some of them kind thing there where they happen. Then anybody will talk, you either toe the line or they silence you. Then me no surprise or one castle. You know why? I don't see video where we see presidential guards them. Then they brandish their weapon them. They say then why now for too long, anyone will shake, would they send and go 6 feet. Then some of we will still deal with the trauma. Waiting we do them on the June the 25 within our party office. Waiting we do them for go send tear gas per way. Waiting we do them for go send live bullets them per way. Waiting we do them for say them wire. Then use the B word per way. Then they will show them say yes. That will be the play with them. Waiting we do them. And up to this point, who has been held accountable? Today I deal with that trauma day. The side where I go lay down when they goes first send the tear gas per way. And I know say Sweet Bonita and other people them. One lady in Germany, Cassandra, one other lady, they all day with the old that press conference we want all. We not did it, we not get weapon. Why they attempt to go kill leaders them? Why they go kill that matron, poor matron Dumbuya for winner party office? Then prior to that, a young guy in Mama Street, just because he wear APC polo, Ishmael Bangura, then kill him. Up to the 10 women they left alone, they still no grief for giving body. So at the end of the day, who is to be held accountable? So this for just continue the vicious circle, nobody should take responsibility. That is some of us with frustration. And that make any opportunity to get for condemn and ask, would they do harm against them people there because they're not good for our country, they're not good for Sierra Leone, they're not good way camp and democracy, they're not good for all human rights. And the most frustrating thing, when they give a picture through some of them cheap journalists them and civil society for say, give a picture, a false narrative as if everything is okay in Sierra Leone. That is just not nauseating, but it is very tormenting.
Right. Thank you very much. The question remains, who will be held accountable? Now, Madabio, we na in at the head of this regime because me need to refer to them as a government. Me they call them a regime because they don't lost their legitimacy. They don't transform themselves from de jure governments to a de facto government. So they've now become a regime of gangs where they go around disrespecting the constitution of Sierra Leone and the rights of the citizens. So now a regime me to refer to them as. And now the head of this regime, Wina Madabio, the United States right now, the UN General Assembly. You not think say na in for be held accountable, then in go pick you and man the way he send for go do the kind of atrocities there as we do. What think will be the reparation for him?
Of course, then can say the box stays with him. Now Indian under him. Now India appoints the Inspector General of Police. The Vice President in adjusts the chairman for the Police Council as provided for in the 1991 Constitution. But you know, this culture of impunity, not to today it begin. Madabio not to stranger by impunity. Uda kill Bambe Kamara then. up to this point, we're not able to get tangible answers them for letting people and they get a closure from that trauma day. The family members are still traumatized because nobody has been held accountable. That culture of impunity should be stopped in our country. We have a constitution. I know say yes, the constitution, we get the judiciary, we are the arbiter of a constitution. But who holds Mother Bio accountable? Now that make, if we're not able to call them out, if we're not able to do anything because we hopeless and they use the military, then they use the guns against the people and voices them. This is where we should all join hands with other progressive forces, both in Sierra Leone and in the diaspora, so that Mother Bio should be held accountable and go able to call it accomplices them. Because at the end of the day, we should nip the culture of impunity in our country if only we are serious about promoting democratic values and ideals. If not, it will just be a vicious circle. So that is where we should, as a matter, of urgency, continue for highlight all the atrocities them, where them why I don't commit, and the divisiveness where they don't bring our country. Look wetin happen Kenema, where they increase the fuel. We see protesters them, then come out. The police go protect them. They not shoot nobody, they not arrest nobody. But when it happened at the Northwest and the Western area, like wetin happen in Potloko, where that officer they not agree do, they're waiting them they expect say for do, then send them indefinite suspension. While as in Kenema, the one that we protect them, they were saluted. So you will see, say, the cherry picking now in ugly in our country. And all this, the box stays na Mother Bio in desk because it don't promote divisiveness in our country. Now I make even way it go from that facade. I can call it facade, that thing where just for the icing of men. They say it establish a peace and reconciliation commission. Then you go and pick somebody. He say now in the head. To me, it's all BS. The man not serious about that. All he care about is for use what you call the Machiavellian approach for consolidating self in power so that he will continue for do the ugly things the way they do because he knows say internally in Sierra Leone, nobody know they for all them accountable. But guess what? We are drumming international support to make sure all those responsible and bear the greatest responsibility for human rights violations in our country should be brought to book and be answerable to the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay, before Sweet Bonita come in for telling the protest in London, before Sweet Bonita come in for tell you about this protest in London, we all know say there's been a case been filed already against Mother Bio at the ICC, and we all obviously don't write Mother Bio a letter. The ICC prosecution team don't write them a letter, say they want for Siam. And in visits in the United States, we get social media reports for see they were all tagged. Then give them tag for monitor the movements, who side and they go, and Mother Bio don't receive another letter highlighting all the accusations with a levy against them. And what's your expectation on this go away Mother Bio go so, and what you think could happen? We are just preempting something, but you know, this could be interesting for the viewers them for know what could be your opinion on this particular visit.
You know, I see the SLPP bloggers and accomplices them, then they jubilate, say, Mother Bio don't come to America. Mother Bio never came to the US because they've been banned from going to the US until when he became president. The United Nations Charter. The charter very clear say when we don't see people in way they not even get diplomatic relations with the United States of America. then they allow them for come at the UNGA. We don't see Iranian, then they come at the UNGA. We don't see Cuba, then and then they come at the UNGA. We don't see Venezuela, then they come at the UNGA. So if Marabio come, now just part of the diplomatic nice system where they inside the Charter of the United Nations, where it be say, they say every nation, then they see them equal when it comes to the United Nations. And therefore, when they can they, now UN matters and they attend. But at the end of the day, even granting the visas, the US cannot be compelled by the United Nations to say you need for grant them people their visa because then they cannot the UN. That one is a national, is a discretion of the United States government for determine whether then they issue that visa day. So if they get a visa in an entourage, then don't cannot the UN. The only disturbing thing for me now, when I they listen in meetings and where they all, including the one where go to the American university, they say they force America be they try for twist for let it tell Connor say let not call the result. And that is very undiplomatic on your part. Very undiplomatic. Even if that happened, for let you go public and go say where you not come with any compelling proof or evidence, it is like you just shoot yourself now your foot. So I'm waiting forward because at the end of the day, the US Embassy in Freetown, they don't respond, say, they no go respond to that kind of public statements they where somebody go make. But when they make such a diplomatic statement, I know because until I be done in the diplomatic field when I was in the foreign ministry, I know the way it can work behind the scenes. So we dey wait and see. So with all the hype, with and deeper right now, giving a picture as if everything is rosy in Sierra Leone, where people in the suffer, people in the struggle, forget a daily living. 30 day, the minimum wage day at 800,000 leones a month. The bag of rice is almost 800,000 leones. The people are not able to send them, pick them. We see na Juba Bridge, we see the young folks, then they only then they smoke kush, then they virtually rubbish the future of the young people in our country. And you are here in the US, they speak grammar, they give the impression, say everything rules in our country. I just want me to sit down and reflect, say, if na me young picking them, then they under that bridge, then me they make speeches, then and they give that kind of picture, they, how it will feel. Where is the empathy? Where is the conscience? To me, the issue between the US and Madabio, between the ICC and Madabio, it's a question of wait and see until we see how things they unfold. But the bottom line here is we will continue to call for people to be held accountable for the atrocities Sierra Leoneans don't deserve, and therefore people should be held accountable for that. That is my bottom line.
Thank you very much. Maybe Sweet Bonita will come in because we say that the UK, you don't mention, say we get protests in Canada and other parts of the world. I believe, say, Sweet Bonita will get few details of we own protests where they happen in the UK. Maybe Sweet Bonita will talk to you about that. Over to you, Sweet Bonita.
Yeah, just appealing to all citizens of Sierra Leone, concerned Sierra Leoneans, to come out on the 20th of September. That's on Wednesday. Because we know definitely there's going to be some snacks. It's a walk from Elephant and Castle down to St. John. So please, 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 we are appealing because this particular protest is in collaboration. with the APC. APC is literally being the lead of the. It has never happened in the history. It has never happened where a political party is protesting. Because mostly when Constance Union comes out, people come, oh, they are APC. No, no, no. This is the first time the party is coming out to say, we as a party, we are protesting. So we are appealing to every Sierra Leone, especially those in also Europe, if possible, to join us. If they are not able to host theirs, to join us. Because we know there are going to be some surprise guests on the day for the protest. But please, 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 the meeting point is at Elephant and Castle, the Tabernacle Church. As usual, that's our usual point. Myself, the media team, and I think also another media houses will be with us on that day. We saw what happened a few months back, just after the killing in Sierra Leone. So the UK and Ireland district as a whole will be coming out in collaboration with Concerned Sierra Leoneans, Black and Apart, every other organizations that have been part of protest Concerned Sierra Leone to be out on the 20th. Because again, the US will be doing this, so we want to do it simultaneously. So I think, Comrade Wankasu, you are the boss on that area because you are the head of media. I mean, also the PRO for the district. So I think it will be best if you can also say a few things about this particular protest. Thank you so much.
Yes, indeed. I go on for you take the lead because it's now the first time this way the APC, the champion protests now the diaspora. APC don't put the name now the UK for say we as a political party now we now they now the receiving end of Madabio in atrocities them we it don't cause. Now we now the main opposition party for 5 years. Now we then accuse we not terrorists. Now we then accuse so if we party they suffer this much na Sierra Leone, why the diaspora party with the support from Yaso not take the lead in the protests? So this is the first time APC UK and Ireland they put the name on a protest. And the Nepali arrangement, there's a meeting going on from this minute 8 o'clock going up at the UK. And then they call on all individuals and all organizations for join these protests, make it be the biggest protest ever held in the UK. And we all don't notice it. The international community don't begin take action against Madabio. And we want for the international community to know say on a daily basis, this regime they can cause problems to the country. Then they continue for arrest, then they continue for kill, then they continue for commit heinous crimes them against human rights, against the citizens, and they do them with impunity. We not for freedom, we not for sleep, we for continue for protest until an arrest is made. They begin point them, they begin take them to task for the bad things that they do to the country. And overall, we own districts, UK and Ireland districts, ready for tell the British government for say this election will then thief that we earn, we know they accept them and we go at all costs for make sure say Kone is taken to task for waiting it don't do. We could be leading to treasonable offense by stealing the elections that we earn and give them to Madabio and look at what we face today as a political party in the country and we within the diaspora. We all in the diaspora, we have some sort of trauma, some mental, depressions by waiting with the experience every day. Now we phone them through social media of waiting they happen in the country. So we call on all Sierra Leoneans for come out on the 20th for go put themselves forward and make their voices heard about waiting this regime they do to people there in Sierra Leone. Added to that, the APC UK and Ireland gets a general meeting in Manchester on the 30th of this month again. Just 10 days after the protests, we all go Manchester from the entire UK and I, all the constituencies that are UK and I, don't line up coaches them with the head for Manchester on the 30th. And Mr. Belletti, you are welcome to come and join me in that very important annual general meeting.
Thank
We
you.
invite Europeans, we invite people from all across the globe who can join me. Because since the elections and since the inception of this new executive, we not get a general meeting because straight after the elections in the UK, everybody goes to Sierra Leone for go help with the campaign for the elections. And now people don't return. Now we can only first general meeting under this new executive under the leadership of Simeon Bangura. So I want to invite everybody and yourself for joining me in Manchester on the 30th. The coaches will be ready at Old Kent Road, Tesco's car park. Now the coaches then go there in the morning, so everybody for make their way there, and now only £40 for go Manchester and for come back. So one for invite everybody for come. So there's also another thing where they go on with the diaspora fundraising for the parliamentarians where they still go on. We want to make sure say people them we concerned about we diaspora about we parliamentarians them which need to go through right now. Funds have been raised and individuals them from across the diaspora they can put small thing for sustain the hardship with them people that go through for make them relieve them of the hardship. So we MP them, elect, we councillors them, we chairpersons them, and mayors and stuff like that. All of them, we want for try for, relieve them off them this kind of strain where they go through. So the contribution they go on that the diaspora. So we want to get people them for for contribute. So now that's the more I say make a add to this. And Sweet Bonita, the chat room is busy. People and they send messages them. So just for don't forget to recognize them. Over to you, Sweet Bonita. Then we can come back to we wonderful guests. We don't make the conversation so interesting for we engage them back going forward. Over to you.
Well, again, I think just want to acknowledge Jay Goes because he's here also. Alonso Demize, they are with us in the chat line. And one thing they were saying, let me just put it up. I think hopefully the viewer will be able to see an audio. So it says Relians, the head B of this opposition just took up the back seat. The grassroots members are the ones risking their lives for the party. It's high time for the executive members to take part in the protest. And I think with that, definitely we've all seen what is happening. The protest that happened in Sierra Leone a couple of days back, it wasn't organized by the APC. It was organized by Sierra Leoneans that are struggling. This is why we have taken upon ourselves as a party to say we will protest in the diaspora. And again, it's something that if the APC is protesting in Sierra Leone, they will go through the right channels. They will cross the T's and dot the I's because it is a political party that believes in rule of law. Because some people are saying, oh, when APC was in governance, people protest and they kill them. Like, no, market women came out when they says, oh, they wanted to move them from point A to point B. No killing took place. But under this administration, it doesn't have to accuse the women or the business people that, oh, they are APC, because when APC said, or when there's a protest, it's APC that tells them not to come out, not to do this, not to do that. It's not. Sierra Leoneans are struggling. I think the message was very clear. If you know you are suffering, you are struggling, this is what you need to do. And people are head to that. So it has nothing to do with the APC. And I'm sure the APC is doing a protest. It's something that they will inform every member. And it doesn't mean because I'm an APC, there's a protest, I take part, is the party. No, it's me as an individual. So again, let's stop blaming the party or the executives. When they are coming out, they will come out. And we've all seen, even when you go for police clearance for a protest in Sierra Leone, it's not granted. It's absolutely not granted. And one of our lawyers have said it before. It's a procession. That means people that are going to bury their loved ones should also wedding should also request, because that's the same lines of protest. It's a procession. People are gathering to celebrate or to express whatever they are going through or what is going on within their community or in their life. But again, when it comes to them, they only do something that to them. We've seen where people have protested in the south, Borken Makailaun, Pujong, as long as it's within their confinement, nothing happens. But if anything is happening in Freetown, down of the Northwest, then it becomes an APC issue, which is sad. It's sad. And it's one Sierra Leone we have. So to be honest, Commodore Wankasu, I think when it comes to protest issue, we just need to be mindful and letting people know that it has not been a very good thing in our under the 5 years. We saw what the people of Sierra Leone went through. Now again, at this 11th hour, we are seeing what they are doing after stealing an election. So it's rather unfortunate. So back to you, Commander Wankasu.
Yes, thank you very much, Sweet Bonita. Now back to the topic we will be talk about now. So the protests na Sierra Leone, September 11. Another day of atrocity by the police force system, armed force system. Mr. Berete, we know Sierra Leone under the leadership of President Dr. Anas Bai Kuruma. Protests then take place, which you don't highlight, and the police do not do nothing, the army don't do nothing. They allow the people in for protests. There was a video going on where I see people in the process the streets, them about something during the time of the APC. A shock for no say protests been take place. Because sorry.
It was when they wanted to move their business places from one area, like when they were going to that Victoria Park end.
Victoria Park.
That was the thing.
From Abacha Street to Victoria Park.
Yes. I see them they dance in the streets, then they go and protest, then they go and dance in the streets. I'm not even aware say there was a protest, because if they may kill one person there, we probably know. But it happened the day pass, and I believe say when I asked what be happened that day, they say them go in a state house to former President Dr. Anas Bai Kuruma, then go plead with him. Dr. Anas Bai Kuruma talk to them, and then actually tell and thank you for what he listened to them, and they all return back peacefully, then go back to their houses them without anybody not die. They not shoot anybody. So why this thing they continue? People then they kill, then they shoot, then they actually left outside the crowd day, outside the protest day. Then they go at them behind them. Then they go and hunt people like for say now. Then they go and target people like for say this is a military war. Then they go from outside the crowd day. Then they go and friend people. Then shoot them, then kill them. So, Mr. Berete, I wonder if what in the alleged say they go take people them outside Sierra Leone, bring them camp, give them uniform for can kill innocent citizens then. If not true, or actually not a trained military of Sierra Leone, they behave unprofessionally like how they behave. So this is a baffle me. Seriously, I don't know. What do you think about this?
Thank you. And also, I want to tell you plenty thank you for the kind invitation for Go Manchester. I will check my schedule, because right now the good thing is the flights then from Toronto to the UK now low peak, like because school just don't open. So I will look into that by God in power.
Okay.
Then I will check my schedule. Yeah. Then demonstrations not a new thing. Some of we don't demonstrate in the past. We don't demonstrate and don't label we. I remember when I've been actively there into student politics, when I've been be the Secretary General for the National Union of Saloon Students. We then 10 and day, we say we dey go protest na parade grounds. Tijan Kaba of blessed memory, then send OSD then Pawi, then go Bitwi, then arrest some of our colleagues. Now hospital bid me then where BBC interview me that time day through Lance and Afofana of blessed memory. That time they then get the program Network Africa. But that one day not make we afraid. The same government, the protest they will do, it happened May 19, 1997 at parade grounds. Then May 25, the AFRC coup come, where we condemn that coup day, we go into exile in Guinea. The same government commend we again the students because their interest and the interest of we the students them align. So you go find out say now them political interest them be the sick. The people in the Abacha street, they don't label them already say na APC people them. So it was a big surprise for some of them where they see them woman then they where we they try for relocate them from Sania Abacha Street, Kisi Street, then side and they for carry and go na Victoria Park for decongest the traffic. Then protest, then come, we'll listen to them. Now that make one statement earlier. Leadership now by example. If they see say President Kuruma get appetite for promote impunity, he get appetite for congratulate soldier man and police them with them kill it, they promote them. It is like you don't give them the license for do that. But when the woman then protest, then come we talk to them. And not only that, even the so-called Renaissance movement, as soon as SLPP can have power, the Renaissance movement die. Because then your interest then 10 and day, now for come under the guise of civil society, for let them come then take power, then from there then co-opt some of them through compensation, then you know rebut them anymore. Then the question then is, I remember one time when then they demonstrate na 43, now we'll say, okay, Lord call some of them, let them come meet with president. Right now the state house gate, we catch somebody with petrol and lighter. And imagine if na be mother be in time, it go don't all say na coup. But for we just hand over to the police who say make them do investigations, case closed. We disengage. So when you see police and they kill, soldier man and they kill, then they not one day hold anybody. We get the Independent Police Complaints Board. It is there. But the most terrible thing is when you go take a protege, a stooge, you go put her for head a very important body like that one day, then what do you expect? That's the police and the IBPC, they all will just wear, be like hand in gloves. Then who that they suffer? Human rights, they suffer in our country. The culture of impunity will be promoted. And at the same time, there will be no accountability. The accountability is very important, Owan Kasu. Very important. I remember when I did talk this, I did miss one thing. When I been dey teach international human rights na Frobe College, na graduate school, most of the students na a mixture of lawyers. I get members of parliament, even from the SLPP. I get members from the police. I get from the military. They all day in a class with me as students. Where then they analyze the issues of human rights. Trust me, in the quiet moment, I say, wow. So these guys in uniform, they really know these issues about human rights. I said then, how come with all this practical knowledge you then they demonstrate now the walls of academia? How come then in the field it is not happening there, but rather than the contradiction with the see? So today, the search for the beast of that question, they still linger on the aid. Why you for go send tear gas on people in a party office, you kill somebody? Who gave the orders for let them send that tear gas? Who gave the order for let them shoot? Today, these are unanswered. And you know the most frustrating part? When we dey go into the 2023 elections, Mother Bio go and campaign vigorously and not one day tender an apology or take responsibility. To me, that is nauseating. Now that make when we dey see some soldier man and they wear face mask, it just buy into the narrative. Yeah, we are compelling them to put body cameras. We use body cameras, it is mandatory. Yeah, then they use face masks. Nobody not there for tell and say it is wrong, it is non-transparent, and you should be very open as long as you're very conscious, say deliberately what they do with the civilians. But nobody has called them out. So even now then they create the narrative, say these are mercenaries that have been brought into the country so that they can kill with impunity, so that we not go able to trace them and hold them accountable. But guess what? We have a head of a police, we have the head of a military, the buck stays with them. As long as it will be established that they bore the greatest responsibility for the atrocities and human rights violations that have been committed under their respective tenures in office, they should be brought to book. And this is where the demonstrations that are happening in the diaspora are very key and important, because at the end of the day, it galvanizes the international community for let them pay attention. And also it give the advantage for debunk the narrative way beyond any cohorts and they parade with, or at least the demonstration, they counter that because we are providing alternative credible information beyond the
Okay.
propaganda. So
Right.
to me, that is where we are.
Okay. Well, in terms of we in the diaspora, yes, I will agree with you on that level. They for make we continue for put the pressure, and of course, it's an alternative to the people of Sierra Leone. But directly, the people of Sierra Leone, now then they feel the pinch, now then they get this, head on, from Sierra Leone. We, of course, like you say, we get 24-hour lights and water, and we get we basic, a source of income where they get we they able for sustain we lives them for the month. Whereas in Sierra Leone, they don't get that. They want for continue for demonstrate inside Sierra Leone. But this time they want for change the rule of engagement. Um, Instead of going out, because they don't kill, they don't arrest. And it's very unlikely for make they release them very soon, rather than the arrest. What do you think about this new rule of engagement for sit at home? How achievable is that? Waiting how the impact you think say it go create for the government?
Not a new thing. It don't happen if we go back into history during the struggle of apartheid in South Africa. After the 1976 Soweto massacre, we students then come out, then protest against the use of Africans in school, because the apartheid policy was, what was the point of teaching them English when upon graduation they can only be servants and lawnmowers? We then don't kill them. At the end of the day, the sit-in strike coming, and it became very effective. People then begin share the passes, then when they issue and say, for common one neighborhood, for one white neighborhood, you need a pass. You know, you can suppress. I only wish Mother Bio and colleagues them, where then they always say, oh, their land book. I think say them fail for go read waiting happened at the Tiananmen Square in 1989. May them go revisit history. May them also go waiting happen May 5, 2000 na Sierra Leone, Way for the Sanko turn bone at throat pan people and not agree the same. Now, the very people with all the military regalia, rebel, the way they guard for the Sanko. Now, people brave it, they say they go now in place na Sport. Eventually, the arrest, when they arrest for the Sanko, it was the people. But they engineered that. So you cannot fight people's power. You cannot. One book they way are always there in romance with when it comes to civil protest, including sit-ins for paralyze the state and the government where they empower or the regime. Now, one book we then call A Force More Powerful, written by one Jack Duval and Peter Ackerman. Anybody where they into the business of civil society, civil protest, how for engage the government, where then they use force, how for change the narrative. That book should be a Bible for people. It's a very effective read. So the strategy is not limited to sit-in strike. The reason being, we don't lost so many people in Sierra Leone. I remember where Mada Bio came in governance in 2018. As he comes on a power, because I know the guy, I know his psyche, I know the torture way he and colleagues, NPRC, then torture some of we who been there, where they old we as journalists who been in a new breed, then go lock we, then say because we write an article on Strasser that 43 million diamond. I know where Mother Bio they go now CID then 10 and they and then John Benjamin them. The terror way then they go unleash on we. So when I see them don't begin suppress people there for go demonstrate, now I go na AYV. Now I say, Mother Bio, if you are suppressing the will of the people, I will chase you in New York to go demonstrate against you. And I went there. All kind of amicus I get, all kind harassment. But at the end of the day, I not do harm for Abdullah Berete to make a point. I made it to send a clear message to Sierra Leoneans that this guy is a representative of the tyranny we are going to experience in Sierra Leone. And today, true to that, that is what we are saying.
Okay, right. It has always been a pleasure to have you in this platform, Mr. Berete, and we come to the close of this discussion. And it has been very informative, educative, and interactive. Um, we want to make you make a final submission to we at this platform and the people of Sierra Leone, the protesters, the one them with the plan we protest now also, and a new hope we will get for Sierra Leone in terms of waiting to happen, the regime, and then from there we go give credit to Sierra Network TV also. We will tell them thank you for the role that they play. We will give credit also to Sierra Gem because they go for do a live stream of the events that we're going to take place now in the UK and including beyond when at the diaspora TV, when at the APC own. But give you last submission and then we will play again the news bulletin where we get for we weekly show them, and then from there we will call it a day. Over to you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Berete.
I want to tell Una, as always, plenty thank you, Owan Kasu and Sweet Bonita. But Owan Kasu, you get a responsibility. Una try teach Sweet Bonita the Creole now.
No, what it deliberate because what will they do? Sweet Bonita they speak fluent Mende, and when it can cut out pan people them, all man they shock. They need believe for say.
Well, Una teach and the lingua franca when the Creole.
Okay.
I tell Una plenty thank you. This now an opportunity where Una always they give me for this kind platform here. And the issues we discuss today, where people and they listen to we and watch we keenly, then go no say it is not just about APC. It is about the soul and survival of a country. And this time, what they take, some people can say, oh, would they not the diaspora, would they speak grammar, why would not would they salon? we all not go able to salon. When the time be reach, we go Sierra Leone, we go do part. But this role they play is equally very important for democracy in Sierra Leone. Now that make any time when I give me this opportunity is very key. Then somebody writes something, they say now the grassroots, then at the party, now then they come out, and Sweet Bonita do a very great job because we don't want to buy into the narrative of Mother Beyonce, all the protest demonstrations, na APC, because that is what the government wants the people to believe or the regime to believe. Then once let people they say na APC. The people in way they suffer has nothing to do with APC. They are Sierra Leoneans. Then just they express their genuine concerns. For them, they don't care whether SLPP or APC. All they wanted is let the people know say we then they na power, then they into governance, they're not to the boss them. Now the people are the boss because they are the sovereigns of the state, and it is clearly spelled out in our constitution that political sovereignty belongs to the people. Madabio gets that. You are not a boss. The people that then give mandates from 2018 to 2023. 2023 to now, it is undisputed because you are experiencing sanctions right now because they rigged and stole the elections in Sierra Leone. So we'll continue to do our best. We'll continue to protest, to protect our constitution. And the last thing we may say, now for tell plenty thank you to the viewers, the people in which they send the text them. They are also equally playing an important role because if we all join hands and look beyond party politics when it comes to national issues about human rights, because there is a maxim that says the committal of human rights anywhere is a committal of human rights everywhere. And Sierra Leone is no exception. So let us continue. We're going to face intimidation. We're going to face a whole lot of harassment. But I believe in the elementary saying that the end will always justify the means. Una plenty thank you for this opportunity.
Wow, that was exceptional. That was exceptional. You see, make am in Creole, and Sweet Bonita go talk am for we in Mende. Mr. Abdullah to just make am simple for we. Human rights abuses somewhere, the human rights abuse everywhere. When you commit human rights, when you take the right of the citizen of a human being, na Sierra Leone, you not only commit a normal na Sierra Leone, you commit against humanity. The whole of humanity for stand against you for committing the crime against a human being. That submission now seal the whole thing, and the end justifies the means. Which will decide for fetch for so. In the end, we will not say yes, that a good cause. And Sweet Bonita then also it follow the charts. He always they enjoy reading whether they for or against waiting we they talk about now. So and it always encourage them for telling thank you for letting them continue for the view. Because if you don't know the view, we know the able for Sidonaya. So Sweet Bonita, over to you. Make you tell and thank you for joining us, and we wrap up with the bulletin for the week.
Well, I think I'm gonna take it a bottom top. This is Mami Nyara saying APC remain in opposition. But again, we are seeing by us being in oppositions, your so-called head of Sierra Leone.
You don't froze, right? On me.
Right now, cannot even move in the New York port with them. There are certain things I can't really say. But again, we are grateful because we need to have oppositions and also people in governance because we need to debate. Sometimes it's sad people have to use some words, vulgar words, which it's not really acceptable. That's their own way of you. And again, taste. Nyadego wuhinda yekbewi. Wagile weke salon mende blava miao amukbeva time bla loko bla so bla fula bla madingo bla yalunkani vaini mukpe muva miadoe nana so wule mugo amu hindawi agoya ana no ga tugbo aka na matu protest ya witora agbe no ga tugbo ma salon tugbo mama kini opotloko wogo wotora nuvu ga ya tie agbe September 20 nunga si agboma London to protest ma na be si agboma America ko to protest wole mu go amuwa ago ya mu gbo mu protest mada bi oya hinda ye pere do na si ale nunga wa ma Auguste nunga wa Pademba Road nunga wa Tonkolimba nunga wa Waterloo
Bonita,
even wole mu go amuwa ago ya mu mada bi ogboa we go wiji memu amala wugama ogboma APC Diaspora Online TV platform watiji APC ni vibe test yamia na tugboma to protest ti de tetgbe mama nuga yekaya APC ni vimi tugboma the 20th not England not America tekpe tugboma ago ya the 20th today dunyima take mada bi nuga lo le wapa ma so in fact video siana picture siana mwagumo care we mutu anu ga tugbo aken ma ti gbogbere but loko history of batena nu ga tugbo ti gbogbere kete nu ga tinu mu gbo ana te iya yegema so wole mu go amuwa go ya mu protest we mu hindaye ma mu nu wa ma mu de ma lo le mo go yin na me mu de ma so go wi lo mu wala wo gama agboma APC Diaspora Online TV platform go ogbomo kwema go women. Back to you, Commodore Wankasi.
Wow,
wonderful.
fantastic.
Yes.
That's excellent.
You see what I say, wait, you see what I say?
Yes. That is fantastic.
We'll get there inside the TV platform.
Yeah.
So we want to ask the technical team, the production team from the background for Giri, the news bulletin once more for the viewers them with a view to make them see what in pass inside the week. And this will get for them now every week as we come on every Sunday. So I hope say the production team. But please, Mr. Berity, stay there after the bulletin, and then we go do a quick recap and then call it a night. So if the team can come up with the news bulletin, I go appreciate that.
Family una kushe and kabo. We bring to una summary of the weekly news where they come out from the APC Diaspora TV platform. And this particular show, they come up every Sunday from the APC Diaspora TV platform. Now, the first news. Magistrate Bremaja don't send 6 protesters them for September 11, 2023 inside McKinney Correctional Center. The 6 accused people be appear before the magistrates of Bombale District Magistrate Court that's inside McKinney City. The police charged the accused people with a 3-count charge of unlawful assembly, unlawful possession, and disorderly behavior contrary to the laws of Sierra Leone. According to the police, the alleged say on Monday, 11 September 2023, They be see 6 people in different location na Makeni City and engage illegal protest. The police prosecutors then say they arrest the accused people separately around NP area, Rogbane Road, other places them inside Makeni City. Among the 6 accused people, 3 women be beg inside the court room the people. The 3 man them not be beg. And the 6 people also, the 3 man them more, the 3 women them more, they all not be guilty. But now the 3 women them not be beg. But the magistrates not be grant them bail and send them all 6 to jail and adjourn the matter on the 18th September, that this coming Monday 2023 for the woman them. For the man them, in adjourn the human matter on the 20th September 2023. And the all 6, he don't send them na remand the people them. The second news, 46 people including 7 women be appear na court for the protest na Waterloo. On the 13th September 2023, a total of 46 people including 7 women and 39 men from various address them inside Waterloo be appeared na Waterloo Magistrate Court na Kinyard inside Waterloo. Salon Police dem arrest them people there so on the 11th September, that this past Monday, in connection with the involvement na the recent protest around Waterloo community. According to the charges wey comot from the Sierra Leone police against the people na offence under the Public Order Acts of 1965, including incitements, riotous conduct, disorderly behavior, throwing missiles, public insults, and provocation. That according to the charges wey the police dey say na Indian people also get. Police say they be arrest Boku with exhibits for this particular demonstration wey will take place this past Monday, 11 September 2023. They say they be arrest them with stones, old motorcar tires, and placards. All the 46 people where they be arrested, they be identify them as protesters. That's according to the police. And the magistrates don't send them all na Banga Farm Kisitong Correctional Center outside Waterloo community. The matter, the magistrate don adjourn am on the 18th September 2023. That's this coming Monday. Third news. Turkish government don arrest some Sierra Leoneans them na Turkey Istanbul airport with 600 kilograms of kush, jaba, and cocaine drug. Out of the 600 kilogram, now 460 kilogram of kush, 100 kilogram of cocaine, 6 kilogram of jamba, and 5 kilogram of tramadol. The governor of the Istanbul airport, winner Dr. Hagan, and the chief security officer, all na the Istanbul airport be make this known to the Sierra Leone ambassador na Turkey, winner Ambassador Muhammad Hassan Kaisamba. For go know the series of allegations where they don't make about brothers them where they come out from Sierra Leone, they go inside Turkey. And according to the governor of Istanbul airport, he said from 2021 to 2023, now this quantum of drugs they don't catch na the Istanbul airport na Turkey from Sierra Leoneans them. The governor continue and say the Turkish government don't open an investigation on the Sierra Leoneans they also way they arrest with this drug. And say the Turkish law go take in cause on dem Salone people yaso wey dem no arrest. The governor further call on the security dem na Lunge International Airports for make dem tighten the security na these airports for let dem not give the country bad name internationally. Fourth news. Sierra Leone police don send the AIG of Port Harcourt Division on indefinite leave wey na AIG Francis Tawa for wey e be allow people dem for demonstrate or people dem for protest inside Port Harcourt city on September 11th this year. Na im make Salone police be send this particular AIG with indefinite leave with immediate effects. They say because e allow people for demonstrate inside Port Harcourt. Famulem, the next news wey we get for give una next week Sunday concerning about the protesters wey we get for appear this coming Monday and Wednesday. We get for tell una about the proceedings of that court update day, and also we get for tell una about wetin dey happen inside the APC concerning the dialogue wey get for start the 25 and the 26th this month. And also we get for tell una about the court case of Comrade APC Sheriff and others versus the Inspector General of Police, Famulem. Thank you for tuning in. Join us next week as we bring you credible updates on events happening inside the APC and the country as a whole. Me, na political thinker, head of JUDK Media and Communications Units, credited by Council of APC Media Bloggers, both home and diaspora. Brought to you by APC Diaspora TV platform. Thank you all.
Sweet Bonita.